Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger.
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger, the podcast where we talk about an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and then we watch it.
No, other way around.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We should do it the first way.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, what happened in this one? The Dark Rangers fucked shit up.
We
Yep.
could probably call it, yeah.
All of the Power Rangers died. It was awful. Brutal.
Jenny got stabbed.
Whoa, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, it was really dark.
Tommy's head decapitated.
Clean off. Clean off. It's like
Turban Shell just impaled it on his shell.
on the shell of his stuff.
Strangely Game of Thrones-like. No, we watch the show and then we talk about it.
Makes more sense.
So very soon we'll be watching episode 72, Green No More, part 2.
Yep.
We're going to discover what happens to the Green Ranger, although I think we kind of know. But we are genuinely curious what's going to happen
How
with
it's
this,
gonna play out.
the dramatic sort of situation the Rangers have found themselves in. But before we do that, we have something else to do.
We have emails.
That's right, listener emails. So
Where can people email us, Matt?
Our email address is rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
That sends the messages straight into the space dumpster, and then once we've received them, we will retrieve them and read them.
Yep, we get them out of the space dumpster. Do you want to open the space dumpster now?
Yeah, hang on. Just let me get myself into position over it. All right, I'm going to lean down, using the legs. All right. All right.
You're not lifting with your back, are you?
No, that would be unsafe. Okay, I've got it. I'm just going to reach deep into it and extract an email.
First email.
All right,
Okay.
fantastic.
You go.
Let's see what this says. Okay, so this is from Dave. He says, "Hey, Michael and Matt.
Hey, Dave.
Hey. Finish that fan art piece I promised you guys in my first email. See attached. Apologies for the delay. I fractured a bone in my dominant hand over Christmas. Oh, shit. Had to take a few weeks to cover. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. I hope you're feeling better."
Clearly he is, because he's drawn an amazing piece, which Matt
let's
will have to
have a look
open.
at it. And holy shit.
How are you going to explain this to the listeners?
Oh, it's very easy. It's Billy is an Andalite.
Okay, but I feel like...
Wow. It really is Billy as an Andalite.
I feel like while that covers it for you and I, there may be listeners who are confused.
I mean, look, I don't want to cast aspersions, but I think anyone listening to a Power Rangers podcast is in a circle of... is more likely in the Venn diagram of people who know what Andalites are.
We should have done Animorphs podcast. There's only 54 of them.
Yeah. Although they're pretty disappointing compared to the books. But we can't
No,
go...
I mean the books.
Oh!
There's only like 12 episodes of the TV show.
That's true. They're pretty
Do
quick
you know
reads.
which
There's
Ashmore
only
was
12
in
episodes?
I don't think there's 12, but there's not many.
No.
Do you know which Ashmore was in the TV show?
Sean. It's Sean.
Okay.
It's definitely
They
Sean.
both look the same anyway.
Is he the one who was Iceman? Or is he
Yes.
the other one?
No.
Is he the one who was on Smallville?
No, that's Aaron.
They were both on Smallville, though.
Yes.
That would be a good quiz. Which Ashmore brother? Which one
been
was
in
on
with-
Veronica Mars? Is it just that there's a TV one and a movie one?
No, because they were both on Smallville, Michael. You just said
But yeah,
that.
but one of them was on Smallville like forever.
Yeah,
And one of them was on Smallville.
I think Aaron is the TV one, Sean is the movie one.
Right, okay.
All right. So back to this
I
incredible...
like them.
Yeah, I like them too.
They should be Power Rangers.
Both of them?
Yes. Twin brother Power Rangers.
Michael and I have discussed our idea. Well, because I was saying to Michael how if you were adapting some, Sentai footage, given the footage that you have, you could really do almost anything you want with it. And I was saying that, for example, you could have two brothers who both, by some accident of the process, both get the Red Ranger power, but they can only be, you only have one at the same time. So in situations...
As in, they take turns.
Yeah, so they have to decide when things go wrong who's going to take the Red Ranger power. And it's going to create some tension between them as brothers, because obviously when one is active, one has to sit out. And that's not contradicted by the Sentai footage you'd have at all.
No, because you just see Red Ranger, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And then when you get a sixth Ranger later on, you'd be able to have that brother take on that role. And you'd still have that tension, but now it was over which one is the leader, because they both used to be the leader of the Power Rangers. Anyway.
That's the Ashmore brothers.
That's the Ashmore brothers.
It doesn't matter that
Already
they're
a more-
35 or something.
Already a more interesting dynamic than a lot of what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so this... Yeah,
So back to this fan art.
Yes.
It looks really great. So for people who don't know, the Andalites were an alien species from the Animorph books and subsequently TV shows.
They're like centaurs.
With knife
but
tails?
with knife tails and, like, antennas.
Yeah, basically.
Which is what we see right in front of us.
Yeah, it's a great piece of fan art.
It's rad.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, is there something I'm not aware of? Is there a reason why Billy as an Andalite is a thing? Did you guys
I'm
mention
pretty
that?
sure we said something about that, yes.
That does sound right.
Look, let me be honest. If we didn't, it's only a matter of time before we do.
Yeah, it's only a stone's throw away. What I love about this artwork, David, is that he's like standing in front of a pretty plain background. It looks like it was like a glamour photo shoot.
Yeah, it's a promo photo for his new series.
Yeah. It's just great. I just love the pretense of where that fictional photograph came from.
Yeah, and I'm just generally impressed with David's artistic skills.
Yeah. So we'll put that up on the website so you guys can all see it.
Absolutely. You'll have to make a note of that, Michael.
All right.
All right.
The second email from the dumpster. Tim, can you pull this one out?
God's I got it.
You got it? All right.
Yeah, here you go.
Hand it over. Thank
Here
you
it
for that. I got it. Got this digital file that you physically handed over to me. All right. Oh, it's from Jeremy.
Matt, you have to stop, man.
All right.
Is it really from Jeremy?
It is from Jeremy.
Show me.
Look, it's from Jeremy.
Okay.
His
Well,
name is Jeremy.
do you know that?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he said that, yes.
Okay,
so
sorry, Jeremy.
He says, hey guys, Jeremy once more. First off, I wanted to say it sounded like you had a lot of fun recording your own written episode of Power Rangers. Yeah.
We really
You
did.
bet we did.
We
We
had a,
did so much that, like, I seriously considered stopping doing the regular podcast and just
doing
recording
that.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, that was really fun. I wonder if it wouldn't have run too long as an actual episode with all the staging, the fights and acting, but it was far better than the average episode of MPR we got for real. Oh, that's really nice.
I think it would have run a bit long.
I'm not super convinced. I think a lot of the stuff we were describing of stock footage actually takes longer to describe than it does to
That's
see.
certainly sometimes true, and I think it would have come in close to time.
Yeah, I think, it would have been close, and an editor could have cut down to appropriate. But, like, maybe that's just me being a bit too optimistic. But, yeah. So, he says, moving on, I found it a little bit suspicious that Dylan from RPM wasn't on either of your guys' Dream Team lists. But as you had pretty good Black Ranger choices, I chalked it up to a strange coincidence. I don't know Dylan from RPM.
No, that's why. Is
Okay.
that basically? I think we can both say after Lost Galaxy,
Yeah.
for Matt, and after like Time Force for me,
Yeah.
I lose everything up until Super Mega Force.
I've seen half a dozen episodes of Dino Thunder.
Okay, sure,
Which
yeah.
I quite liked, actually. But, yeah, that's generally true for me as well. I have a passing knowledge of some stuff.
Yeah.
I can name most of the seasons, but I certainly don't have a working knowledge.
Yeah, and I always forget one of the. I always forget Jungle Fury.
Yeah.
Is the one I forget.
Yeah. However, hearing you guys saying you haven't seen any RPM, I decided I'd give you something to look forward to after Countdown to Destruction, since you're so close to that. So close.
Yeah, that's June 2019. So,
You'll see, like, the third and fourth Avengers films before we get to that, I think.
Jesus. Oh, God. We'll have seen like 2 Power Rangers movies before we get to that.
So he says, to avoid spoilers, one of the following things is a lie, and one is a slight exaggeration. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
That's exciting.
Which door do you go through?
Dylan is the Black RPM Ranger. He has amnesia because he's basically a Cylon Captain America who escaped and lived out Mad Max for a few years before becoming a Power Ranger. That sounds amazing. He gets the most focus of any of the RPM Rangers, including building his own Zord, being a major part of a love triangle, and Power Rangers recycling one of the best plots for him. His constant angst about potentially being a Cylon and killing all his friends means he broods often like Batman, providing a lot of time for introspection and deep character development.
That's the lie, surely. This show doesn't have deep character development.
I don't know.
I've seen through your ways, Jeremy.
But look, I would watch. That sounds a million times
Even
better.
2 of those things
Yeah.
is so much better than what we're getting at the moment.
Yeah.
The only issue with that is that we're going to get to RPM in a million years.
Yeah. Yeah. But look, he sounds great. So
Look, I'm very much looking forward to RPM. I've heard very good things about it.
Yeah.
Boy, is it a long way away.
So he says, for the record, his dream team would be Andros from In Space for red.
Good call.
Michael approves of that. Tori from Ninja Storm is blue. I quite like Tori. I've seen her in a few things, so that's
I'm
cool.
vaguely familiar with Tori.
Dylan from RPM is black, as he's mentioned. Lily from Jungle Fury is yellow.
Lily from Jungle Fury is the one who is in Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, okay, cool. Pink, Corone from Lost Galaxy. Super good choice. Love Corone. And sixth, Tommy Oliver as the Green Ranger from MMPR, which can't fault you for that choice, even if I'm a bit sick of the dude.
You know who I like?
Yeah.
The Magna Defender.
Yeah, he's cool. I like the Magna Defender.
He's like a bull man.
He is.
But not like a minotaur, like a...
Like a robot bull man.
Anyway, we'll get up to that
Cool. All right.
eventually.
Where to now, Michael?
We've got 2 more emails.
Oh, my God.
This one's a very short one.
Okay.
This is from Patrick.
Okay, this will be very easy for
Wait,
you.
hold on. Let me get it out of the dumpster.
Yeah.
After 10,000... No, go back in there. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing.
Okay, don't get Rita out of there.
No, I'm sorry.
That would create so many problems
She
for
felt
us.
a lot like an email.
Okay.
There you go, Matt.
She does.
I'd like to point out that when we're doing this pantomime bullshit, we're all actually passing mime things to Matt.
I mean, it's
And I'm receiving
It's
them.
entirely unnecessary
No,
for
but
us.
it's
we're
not
all
unnecessary.
actually miming picking things out of a dumpster.
But it keeps everyone on the same page as to where you're up to in the action, and it helps you time things out appropriately.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it's Patrick. He's saying, "Hey guys," is the subject of the email. Good start. I'm currently visiting my parents, and they've kept this gem. Feel free to post it if you like. Have a great day, and thank you for what you do. Okay, it's nice and simple. Thank you for that, Patrick. Let's see what it is. It's an image of... Oh, is that a Power Ranger plate?
Yes, it is a Power Rangers plate.
That is fantastic.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Like, I guess the problem is that the art is significantly worse than the fan art that Ash did for, our print.
Can we get plates done? I don't think Society 6 do plates.
No, that's cool,
Crockery
though.
is not.
I love how aggressive Zach looks. He's like really accusingly pointing at you.
You know, he's a grumpy fellow.
He's not though. He's so affable.
That's true. So we'll put a link to that picture up on the website in the show notes.
Yep. One more email. Is that
Yep.
right? Okay.
Matt, can you grab this one?
All right. I'm just going to go ahead in first. Just going to dive in. All right. I'm in. I think I see it. I've got it. I'm going to drag it out. All right. I got it. All right. Let me unfurl it. Okay.
Okay.
Is it a scroll?
It is. This one's in digital scroll form. All right. Having unfurled this email,
Yep.
it does mention an episode that we're going to watch in next week.
Next
basically.
week.
Okay. So we might leave this email till then.
Yep.
So this is from Beto.
I believe Alberto is
Oh,
the
right,
name from
sorry.
the...
Sorry, Alberto.
I think it's in the end of the email.
Nope.
At the top of the email?
Nope.
At the first
Oh, Alberto.
paragraph.
Sorry. Yep. So Alberto, we'll get to your email next week. Sorry to keep you hanging.
Maybe the week after, once we've seen it.
Right. Yep. Cool. So we'll do that then. For now, we're going
Put
to...
that back in the dumpster.
Yeah, that's a
Make
good
sure
idea.
you shut the lid.
We don't want to lose it. I'll pop that back in. Do you want to close that lid up, Michael?
Yep.
All right. There you go. Good work. Okay, let's go watch Green No More Part 2.
Yep.
And discover what happens.
Yep.
You can watch along if you'd like, and we'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. We did just witness that clusterfuck.
Was
Is
a
that
bit,
how you
wasn't
felt about it?
Yeah.
it? A bit.
I mean, look, it was different, but it was a train wreck. Did you want to describe it from the top?
Okay, so Turban Shell is going to fuck Tommy up.
Yeah.
But Tommy's no coward.
That's right. Despite
Worm face.
running and hiding behind a rock a minute ago.
So
That's probably a
he's going to
reasonable
fight
response.
Turban Shell unmorphed.
Yeah.
He does some fighting. He jumps in a ditch to hide.
Yep.
He kind of like...
Grabs Turbo Shell's ankles and pulls him down a ditch.
Which is a bit like... It's a bit cowardly. It's not like the noble way to fight him.
No, but he does all right, all things considered. And he also lunges into Tommy with his staff,
Yep.
which just knocks Tommy back a bit. Now, of course, he's not going to stab Tommy, despite the fact that it has giant blades on it.
Yeah, no.
So they are made of foam.
That's
so-
right. So, of course, that's not going to happen. But Turbo Shell's next line is, "I'm going to perforate you."
Yep.
Which, how? The only thing you could
if
do
it didn't happen then,
it's
not
not
gonna
going to happen. I don't know, what he thought was going to occur.
Yep, so Tommy throws Turban Shell down a hill.
Yep.
In the command center,
Yep.
Alpha can't break through the energy field.
No, and it's rapidly compressing.
Even worse. So it will make
Except-
the command center implode.
It will, except it's shown to be tightly wrapped around the command center already.
Yeah, if it was compressing at all, it would be already destroying the building.
That's right. Given that there's at least a couple of hours that goes on after this point. If it was rapidly compressing, they would have died.
It would have happened.
Yeah. There is no rapid compression.
So Goldar grovels
Yeah.
to try and be allowed to kill the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
No, Lord Zed, that's not going to happen. He's going to send the Rangers back to Earth, which is not where they are right now.
No,
they're in the other world.
It's not that world, it's a different one.
And so they have to watch as he destroys Angel Grove.
My favourite thing about this plan, and it's such a common villain plan, is that it gives them back agency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's not, I'm gonna, like, take you up to the moon and trap you there, so you have to watch.
It's not like I'm going to keep you where you are trapped and use my space window
Fire
develop-
TV that we can talk about
that
that
we
in a
will
minute.
literally get to in a second.
No, it's, I'll send you back so you have a chance to defeat me. And obviously that's how it has to work. Obviously that's the reason it is how it is. But, like, come on.
Yeah, it's a real shame that they don't escape with their own devices somehow.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not... Yeah. If he sent them back to, like, our world,
Yeah.
but they were still trapped in their force field, and then Billy found out a way to escape, and because they are supervised, they're able to get away with it.
Yep.
That would be okay.
Yeah.
But no, Lord Zed frees them.
Yep.
And says, off you go, foil me, please.
Yeah.
So Billy's got some science that he's going to try.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's fair enough. Probably can make a device to do something,
Yep.
knowing Billy.
All right, so Turban Shell is about to take out Tommy.
Yeah.
But Goldar interrupts him.
As soon as Goldar walked into the picture, I wrote down in my notes, Goldar's going to burn it up.
He does.
Yes, that is what happens. That is it.
So he uses his magical time device.
Oh, so we don't want to glaze over that, Michael. Goldar has a magical time device. Yeah.
Yep.
Can we, like, what?
He uses it to summon a sky flashback, which is archive footage of Tommy as the Green Ranger.
Okay, here's my question to you guys before we keep going.
Yeah.
Did you have any guesses what that device was when he appeared holding it?
No.
Did you have any guesses when he shot fire off screen what he was doing?
No.
At any point, did anyone think he was making a hanging, floating hologram TV?
No.
Because it's fucking stupid.
I I could just buy he has magic and he can show Tommy things that already happened.
No, he's even got a sword
Yeah.
that has in the past been shown to have powers.
Yeah.
But no, he opens a window to the past. He can't just say, oh, Tommy, you fucked up to try and demoralize him. He has to bring along a time machine to do that.
So that makes Tommy fall to his knees with
Emotion.
some sort of emotion, jealousy, probably. No, on this show.
Well, I not jealousy, Michael. I guess just shame, loss.
It doesn't
a
really
sense
make
of
a lot
loss.
of sense.
You don't think so?
Shame doesn't really make sense.
I used to be great, and now I know I'm losing that.
Yeah,
I
but
feel bad about
he's
that.
great because his magical powers have been externally drained by a force which he cannot fight against.
Yeah, but he still feels a loss there.
Dejected, yeah.
He's still down in the dumps, to put it lightly, about the fact that this great adventure of his is forcibly coming to an end.
So Goldar is going to make him pledge allegiance to him.
No, admit that he's weaker, I
Yeah.
think is what...
He says pledge allegiance.
Oh, does he? Okay.
But what
And
it
then he
means
says
is...
that I'm... No, doesn't he say that I'm your superior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Billy has managed to science.
Yep.
And that means that something...
Yeah. He has, like, spinning disco lights with, like, blue tack on them, so I guess
Yeah.
that held in the science.
But it doesn't really...
We also get a news report
Yep.
saying that the monster is attacking the city. The news reporter also says the origins of the monster are a mystery, which is bizarre because previously they've known all about Lord Zed and Rita Repulsor.
But they do know that it's called Turban Shell.
they do.
Well, they probably did a scan too. They probably also know that its power levels are dangerously high.
Like, who else sends monsters?
Yeah.
You know about Lord Zed. I think you can pretty say, like, I understand you need two sources to confirm it and report it as a responsible journalist. But in this case,
Yep.
it's Lord Zed.
So, Lord Zed says something about going to reprogram the Zords.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to have the Dark Rangers use the Zords.
I guess that never comes to anything.
Oh
So
my God, does
don't
it?
worry
The
about
the fucking Dark Rangers. The biggest waste of time on the planet. but
Easily.
anyway.
So Goldar reveals that he's got a time device. He tells us it's a time device.
Yeah.
And he's going to use it to send Tommy into space.
Yeah, through
Which-
time.
That's what time is, right?
Time is space. Everybody knows that. So, he says, admit that you're defeated.
Yeah.
At which point Tommy goes, nope. Does a flying...
No, you sucked all the drama out of that moment.
He so did the show.
Admit that I am your superior. Say it. And he says, Goldar, you are out of your mind. Flying kick.
So the flying punch he does is he jumps straight into the air and then comes just straight down and punches Goldar.
Yeah.
It makes no sense as a martial arts move.
Punches his sword out of his hand into the air.
Yep.
This moment, I admit, is kind of cool for Tommy. His theme song starts playing, and he beats the shit out of Goldar.
It's a good moment. It is.
The problem is that for Goldar, he gets the shit
It's
absolutely...
Goldar's final humiliation.
Yeah, he gets beaten almost
By
to
a dude,
death.
by
By
just-
a dude.
just by a dude.
The show goes to so much effort to say Tommy has no powers anymore.
This is
Tommy
a problem,
is a
yeah.
regular dude.
Yeah.
But he can still kick the shit out of Goldar.
Yeah. So Goldar is now less effective than a human.
Yes.
What? I don't... Wow. You know?
Yep.
I mean, I'll buy that Tommy A is a very skilled martial artist, regardless, and B has residual power or something. And if he just clicks it and goes on a rampage and just fights hard and desperately, he could beat Goldar in that moment.
Sure.
I think what makes it a bit more egregious is when Jason was stuck in the fuck dungeon.
Yeah.
He absolutely...
All those years ago now.
Yeah. Absolutely could not do anything to Goldar without his powers besides knock him a little bit around.
Roll around on the floor, basically.
That's
and
right.
Stay safe, really,
That's right.
was what he was
They've
doing.
completely rejiggered the rules here. Which
Yeah,
really
Goldar's just useless.
Yeah.
So Tommy grabs the time device
Yep.
and uses it to teleport Goldar away.
Yeah.
Through time? No.
Probably
Because we
not.
see him again in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, because I don't think anyone ever wanted to use it to teleport anyone through time.
So, Tommy contacts himself.
I'm furious about
Oh,
this.
no, don't. Back to the Future is my favourite movie of all time, right? That's a movie that understood time travel. So he contacts himself through time.
What he says is, this is a time device, right? Maybe I can contact myself from the past.
Yep. Does he send the message that we saw him send half an hour ago?
No.
You wouldn't believe that he doesn't.
I would, Tim. Does he just say, oh, that's me through time, and then get his communicator from a version of himself?
Who is when? We don't know. I knew it wasn't going to play out right when the message had been, remember your communicator. And then it occurred to me, we're in the position where he's approaching the sending of that message.
Yep.
And he didn't, make a point of bringing his communicator along, which is how surely that was going to
No,
play out.
all it'd have to do is he gets the communicator, he gets the time device, realises he can use his communicator and the time device to get out of there, and then send the message to himself to
Say,
remind him
remember,
that that's how you solve
you
the
have to have
problem.
the
I've got an even more elegant solution
Sure.
for you here. Is that in that first scene, last episode where we see it,
Yeah.
we see Tommy, he's struggling, he's like, this is my final battle, I need your communicator. And he asks, that Tommy for the communicator, he hands it over, and that's where he
Yeah.
gets a communicator from.
Right, and so he doesn't have his communicator up until
Exactly.
then,
Until he asks
because
for
he
it.
gets it from himself,
and
in
then
the
he
past.
remembers, oh shit, I get my way out from
and then
myself.
does it himself. That would be great. Except no,
So few of those options were the ones chosen by
the
the writing
time
staff.
portal Tommy hands him his communicator,
From
which
where?
we didn't see happen
Yeah.
when we saw the other end of this.
Everyone knows you see the same interaction twice from each side.
Yes.
That's how that always works.
Yeah, it doesn't... make any sort of sense. It's not like, oh, I see what they're going
Yeah,
from.
it's not
They didn't
different.
quite
It's
get
not
it.
different. It's
No,
wrong.
It is objectively wrong. They fucked it up so badly.
You know what it feels like? It feels like they write part 1 and part 2 as independent episodes.
Yeah, they wrote part 1, shot it, and then had to
And
write
then
part 2.
Did part 2, and we're like, well, I don't know how we get out
fucked
of
that
this,
up.
so-
Yeah, no, it was different writing staff
Yeah.
who'd read a summary. Like, that's
Yeah.
the best we got. When was Back to the Future made?
Like 1983 is what I
Okay,
want to say.
the important point being,
They'd have seen Back to the Future.
they'd have seen Back to the Future, so good time travel media existed already.
They'd have seen Terminator. They'd have seen Terminator 2.
Does Terminator have bits like that? Or
not quite,
really?
but
Close enough,
it has
yeah.
good time travel. There's lots of good time travel movies from the 1980s.
You're done fucked up, boys.
Yeah.
It's so easy to solve in
It's
so
not a problem.
many ways.
It's not even a problem that Order needs solving.
That's right.
It's not.
They
this is a
created a
difficult.
problem.
It's not. This is a difficult thing to write. How will we figure out?
They
a
wrote
solution?
the first part and then wrote a shitty solution to their own.
They wrote a solution to a first part they didn't write.
Yeah, that's right.
They
yeah.
solved a problem they didn't write.
Yeah.
I think this is some spoilers for a comic, a Batman comic that Grant Morrison wrote, so it's unrelated. But when, in his run on Batman, when Jezebel Jet was revealed as a bad guy, I was seeing a lot of people on the internet go, he's just pulled that out of his ass, like it's come from nowhere, as though, like, 2 years ago when he created the character, he didn't think that's how this is going to play out. You know what I mean? It's like, it seriously underestimates, like, he was writing it month to month,
Yeah.
and then went, this is the solution.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. It feels like they wrote the first part.
No, but I think that analogy breaks down because at least even if you didn't think of it, it still logically follows on from that first part.
Yeah.
In this situation, we've got a problem and a solution, and neither of them match each other. Even like
That must have
retrospectively.
been written within, like, 5 days of one another.
days.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up if those 2 episodes were written by the same person.
Yeah.
Okay, you check that out. Do you want to?
Yeah, do you guys want to keep going from there?
Yeah. So what was after that?
So Tommy can teleport away now.
Yeah, he has his communicator again.
He teleports into Billy's science lab, where the others
Slash garage.
garage, where the others have managed to re-establish enough contact with Command Center.
To get video footage.
Yeah, through Billy's computer, which is impressive for a computer at that time.
Yeah, fuck, that display does two very different things.
It does, that's right.
It does white numbers on a black screen, and then it does full color video.
That's right.
Would it surprise you to learn that these 2 episodes were written and directed by the same person?
I couldn't be
Yes.
less shocked.
Were they?
They were, like, both written by the same person and both directed by the
Matt,
same person.
that's definitely not like a staffing issue. That's a fuck up. That's a hard, cold fuck up.
Yeah.
No.
That makes me so angry. I can't fathom how you'd make that mistake.
It's such a non-event. Like, it's getting that right is
The
so
easy solution
easy.
is you write how the problem gets solved and then write the scene before it where he gets the
Where
tools
he
to
asks
solve the
for it.
problem.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you get yourself into a situation where you write something and then can't fix it. Because if you didn't know how to fix it, don't write it.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
know?
the problem wasn't they didn't know how to fix it. It's they didn't know how the time travel plot works.
Yeah.
They didn't know what we saw is what also happens in the future. Like, they didn't know that that's what time travel means.
Yeah.
Like, it's not alternate, it's not different, it's just later now.
Yeah, that's just what time means.
We see it you know what, that's the thing. They don't know what fucking time means.
That's true, because Goldar's time device is
Sends him to
capable of
space.
sending him to space.
And it teleports him away in space, not in time. Okay, problem solved. They just don't know what time is.
Okay, so there's a list of things that Power Rangers writers don't understand. Jealousy.
Yep.
Time.
Yep.
Coherent stories.
Dimensions.
Dimensions. Yeah, that's it. Jealousy, time, and dimensions. That's the list.
Far out.
I think this is the angriest the show has ever gotten me.
It's
I've been
just-
pretty
It's
angry.
just such an egregious fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a problem. It's not a difficult thing to
If the
write.
2 episodes had been like 6 months apart, and then they'd gone, okay, we have to make some changes to how they saw it
we can
because
pretend a little
the
bit.
stories happened a little differently, and like alternate universes, time travel, whatever. But it's like, we watched them in a row.
But they'd aired the day after.
The day after.
And
Tomorrow.
they were written probably the day after.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck are you doing?
No. And, like, laziness, I don't appreciate, but I get.
Yes.
But this sort of stuff, I'm like, you've
No, this is beyond laziness.
Yeah, you've put effort into being wrong. Like, you're aggressively...
Yeah, because...
actively
The
wrong.
one time they could have just used old footage,
Yeah.
they didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, the one time you're meant to see the exact same thing again, we don't. What is up with that?
This might have broken us.
I think
this might finally be too far.
Fucking Green No More, Part 2.
This is where we draw the line in the sand, yeah.
It better get better next week.
I'm upset.
Yeah,
probably
no,
upset.
genuinely.
All right,
Poor form, and we'll leave it at that.
Fuck you, Stewart St. John.
Oh, wrecked.
all right, let's try and get this back on track.
Okay.
Not far now.
So, someone has to go and smash the crystal.
Yeah.
Because that's how everything gets better.
That's
Yeah.
fine, I buy that.
The crystal's trapped
The energy.
the energy
Or whatever.
and is supplying the power to the Dark Rangers.
Yep, and also to the force field around the command center.
Yeah.
Only a non-Power Ranger can enter Lord Zed's dimension undetected.
Yeah.
Conveniently,
Yeah.
they have one of those.
That's right. A freshly
That's a
non-power-
major...
Yeah, freshly baked.
That's a major problem 2 hours ago. Now,
It's good.
all good.
Thank God.
It turns out undetected. Okay, so Lord Zed and Goldar are facing the Dark Rangers.
Back at the
facing-
cave. Back at the cave.
Facing
set.
away from the crystal.
Yeah.
So all 5 Dark Rangers are watching the crystal. They're planning the next part of the plan. Tommy basically just walks up, grabs the crystal, and smashes it.
Yeah.
No one makes any effort to go,
Stop that.
that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Now, this smashing the crystal has 2 effects.
Yep.
It removes the force field from around the command center.
Yep.
And it totally strips and removes the Dark Ranger's powers and sends the teams away.
Yep.
So
It also gives them convenient amnesia.
it does. So what the Dark Rangers achieve in this storyline is walk out of a cave.
Yeah, and be disgusting.
That is literally all they physically do in this story. They walk out
I'm
of the cave.
done. I'm fucking done. Nah. Nah.
Now, here's the thing, right? 4 seasons from now,
Yeah.
we will get an evil team of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And they are one of the best things to ever happen on this show.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
They are a great concept, brilliantly executed.
Well, this was a trial run.
No,
No, we're not ready. It's fine. Just get rid of them entirely. They achieve nothing.
like, if you strip the Dark Rangers out of the plot, it would make
They could
no
easily
difference.
have been a 3-parter to themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, and
They're a solid idea.
I don't want to jump ahead, but do we ever see them again?
No, Tim.
I think Tim's about to cry. I want to know, when they were sitting down writing this script, why they thought this concept was worth putting into the script.
What you said when we were being angry about time travel, about them writing the first one and filming the first one before writing the second one,
That's the only explanation.
must be true.
Yeah.
Because you write the first one and go, oh, this will be good next time. And then next time you go, oh, we don't have time.
Next time you go, shit, we're at 27 minutes
Yeah.
and they haven't
we
even
don't have
beaten
time.
the
This
thing yet,
isn't
so-
going to play out. Forget about it. Don't worry. We'll just immediately get rid of them having achieved nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's...
They could have even just stuck around and been the problem next week.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
there's no...
That's a multi-episode arc. You can get good shit out of an evil team of Power
There's
Rangers.
no way in which you would write those 2 back to back, look at them and go, look, a set of characters who do fuck all, and send it, you know what I mean? And say, yeah, good, let's film that. Let's pay 5 people to do that. You know what I mean?
I want to know if this writer was in the room and pitched the concept. He goes, okay, 5 evil Power Rangers. Now, they don't actually fight the Power Rangers.
They actually do
Ever.
nothing at all, ever.
Yeah. Someone
So
in that
what-
room should have said,
No.
No.
So
No.
There's
What
a
do they
2-letter
do?
word for that.
Yeah.
No.
What do they do, Stuart? Okay, so in the first part, they are mean to Bulk and Skull, and then walk out of a cave.
So that we know that they're scary, they're mean in the real world, and then they get turned into Dark
Then they
Rangers.
walk out of the cave dressed in GIMP Sentai suits.
Yeah.
Then in
good. That's
in the
very
second
scary.
part-
What happens next part?
In the second part, they stand around. Someone destroys a crystal, and they get teleported back.
Okay, then they fight someone.
No, then the Power Rangers become their friends by buying $5 worth of milkshakes.
Fuck you.
Stuart, get the fuck out of my office.
Can I just say...
Pack up your desk. I want you out of here by Monday.
No, well, you can't just, in this day and age, you can't just fire people without, like, performance management. So I think, like,
This
what
is
they
definitely his second written warning.
what they did was put up in his cubicle a sign that says,
Fuck you, Stuart.
all that, but it says, if you create Power Rangers villains, they have to fight the Power Rangers. That was the rule he had to learn from this.
He's gotten 2 written warnings from this episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move beyond the Dark Rangers, as the show did instantly. Lord Zed is really shocked to see Tommy there.
Yeah.
I really like the idea that Goldar didn't tell him that he fucked up.
Oh, absolutely.
Goldar told him, yeah, Tommy's in space.
Yeah.
And like,
I killed him, probably.
Yeah, just dodge that bullet.
yeah. Because, like, as far as he knows, you know, Turban Shell is going to destroy Angel Grove, and it doesn't matter if Tommy's dead
Yeah.
or gone. Like,
Yeah.
Certainly, admitting to it is not top of his list.
yeah. So he just said, yeah, taken care of.
Skims over it, yeah.
Yeah. And then Lord Zed sees him and he's like, oh, fuck you.
Really? Really?
I've already had to deal with the disappointment of the Dark Rangers. And now
Literally, Lord Zed is juggling 3 useless fuckers this whole 2-parter. Goldar doesn't do anything right. Turban Shell doesn't do... Is that his name?
Yes.
Turban Shell doesn't do anything right. And the Dark Rangers don't do anything, period. So... Fuck.
Yeah, he's having some staffing problems. Anyway, Tommy smashes his crystal. The Dark Rangers just go
Can I
away.
just say, guys, if you think we're angry, there's another one coming up, okay? We're not done yet.
Is there? I've forgotten. I've selectively wiped it.
Tommy thinks he can handle one more fight, because when the crystal got destroyed, it had some
It
of
had
his
the
green
energy
energy.
in it. I'd buy that. I'm fine with that.
So he can, you know, he's got some of it residually.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me.
One last fight. So he teleports away once he smashed the crystal back to Billy's lab.
Yep.
And says, all right, guys, connection's reestablished. We're Power Rangers again. Let's go fight Turban Shell.
Trini says, our morphers, with like a look of, oh, they've appeared, as though they're not like physical devices that are constantly on their belt.
They all look at them like, oh, hey, they're back.
Yeah, it's like... I mean, look, I know it's semantics, I know it's like nitpicking at words, but he said they don't work, not you don't have them.
Yeah, there's a difference between those two things.
And it's no harder to say, oh, they work now, than to say, oh, I've got the back.
Stuart, I'm not giving you a written warning for this one, but you're on your
No,
last
but that's
notice,
number
okay?
3, so...
No. Look, that's just, like, maybe someone said the wrong thing.
That's not as bad as the other things.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, so... they morph, and I'd like to say, I notice this every time. Jason is standing at the back because Austin St. John is quite tall.
Yeah.
But when it's time to morph,
He walks to the front.
walks to the front, which in universe makes no sense.
There's no
He's
front.
there is no front. Yeah,
They're just standing around a table.
Yeah.
He's just morphing like he doesn't want to look at everyone else when he says it's morphing
Yeah, fuck
time.
you guys, I'm morphing over here.
So, Turban Shell says, it's how about a little shell shock?
Yeah.
And it is unacceptable for you to remind me of the best monster this show has ever seen when you're doing such a shitty job, okay?
Wait, Michael, did you just admit...
No, Pumpkin
that
Rapper is better.
that's not what you just said, though.
Look, Shell Shock is the best monster.
Okay.
Pumpkin Rapper had the best episode.
He's the best rapper.
All right.
He's the best rapper on Power Rangers.
So
That's true.
they summon the Megazord and fight for about 3 seconds before they're all knocked out.
They get knocked out of a Megazord twice in 2 episodes. That's not acceptable.
The Red Dragon Thunderzord Warrior mode is still there for about 3 seconds before it also gets disabled.
Yeah, it turns back into a dragon as well.
Yep.
And then flies away.
Fuck it, I'm out of here. See you later.
Which, fair cop. Like, it hasn't had a good, 2 days.
So they have to hit the inner shell with intense heat, and then the outer shell with water, and that will freeze him.
Now, this is information that Zordon figures out, I guess. Didn't tell them last time they fought.
Any time that the solution is the same as the solution to the first Fantastic Four film,
Yeah, you've done something
you
wrong.
fucked up,
Yeah.
okay?
I'm actually going to cry.
Also,
I'm
that's not
happy.
how freezing works. Freezing is a specific thing
Yeah.
that refers to water going below 0 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay?
It requires no heat.
No,
Like, it requires
cold.
negative heat.
Do you know what heat and water is called?
Condensation.
Steam.
Condensation.
Steam. There's a thing for that, and it's not this. So
I just... Tommy has to get inside of this monster.
Well, how else would you heat his inside?
Well, of course, that's just crazy talk.
Fair
Now,
enough.
this is the last hurrah of the Green Ranger.
I'm going to stop you before you say what you're about to say. I genuinely think it's one of the best moments I've ever seen, and I respect if you disagree.
okay, but
Tell me it's not fucking gold. Like, tell me the way in which it's staged and cut is not like editing magic.
Look, Tommy says, I have to get in its belly.
Yeah.
Right? The next shot we see is Tommy in a pile of watermelon.
No, but that's not what we see. We see a pile of watermelons with Tommy's voiceover, and then Tommy with his head next to, like, his green oval helmet head next to another watermelon. And what I love about it and why I think it's so great is because there's no, I have to get into this pile of watermelons.
He's just there.
For once, it gives us as the audience the credit to go, they'll figure out what this is.
Yeah. No, look.
But of all the things to give us the credit
that's right.
for.
It's fantastic comedy.
Yeah.
But once again, I need to emphasize the last hurrah of the most powerful Power Rangers in the 20-year franchise history involves him being eaten with some watermelons.
Also,
Gold! Pure gold!
what a long shot. What are the odds that he's going to stop and eat the truck of watermelons?
Yeah, it's not Pudgy Pig we're talking about. Right? It's not a monster whose soul...
No, Tim, you know how shellfish love eating watermelons.
Okay, look, now that you mention it, I feel silly for questioning
That's
it.
right.
So now he's inside it. He pulls out his laser machine.
I have fucking had it with them revealing weapons that not only have we never seen before, no one's ever mentioned before. I'm fine if if today he gets a laser gun, but say, Tommy, here's a laser gun. Like, fucking throw me a bone.
He knew that he had to superheat his inside for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And instantly got a truck of watermelons and a laser machine
Like
gun.
this, I'll tell you how quick, like that.
He's like a reverse MacGyver. He doesn't have a bunch of things and then figure out how to use them to solve the problem.
No,
He figures out the problem and gets, the exact solution is a truck of watermelons and a gun.
Yeah,
Alright, we're good.
He finds a problem and then he just magically gets the bizarre ingredients.
I need to get my communicator from my past self. Oh, Goldar's got a time device.
That's right, exactly.
The show bends itself to solve his problems.
But a show about that, where a guy
Reverse MacGyver.
is baffled by the fact that he always ends up with the right stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be like
That's a good show.
Like
That
the
is a good
episode
show.
of MacGyver where he needs a lockpick. So sitting on a desk is a lockpick.
Yeah, because it's like
It's not like he doesn't get a screwdriver
No,
and a bobby
yeah.
pin.
He sees
he gets-
like a pigeon just drops a set of keys, and it's like, oh fuck me, that's good. And
I
it's
need to create a small explosive. So here's a pile of small explosives.
It's a show where it everyone's in on the fact that he's the protagonist and has to get out, except him.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting show.
And yeah, he's baffled by the fact that reality twists itself around
Yeah,
him.
he's like, it can't possibly be that all these
Coincidence.
coincidences always line up. And it has, like, Truman Showy elements of,
Yeah.
like, this is sus and I need to figure out what's going on. But we're watching Power Rangers, not that show.
So
Tommy ends up in the stomach of a creature. So this is the 4th time they've been in the stomach of a creature, is that?
more often than you'd hope.
Yeah. So in the stomach of the creature with a laser gun that he's just been given, and he wields it like what's his face from Scarface.
He's just shooting.
Yeah, just like I did the action. You can't see it, it's a podcast, but imagine it.
Like firing from the hip, like he's getting a lot of like physical pleasure out of the act.
I mean, look, last hurrah. So.
Yeah, that's so go nuts, man.
At this point,
not a knock.
At this point, Zach gets some of that residual Tommy energy because he just backflips onto a random roof.
Fire
where
hose.
there's a
Fire
fire
hose.
hose,
Fire hose.
which sprays water.
Yeah.
Which I have to assume was the Mastodon Zord
In
the
the previous
original footage.
Yeah.
Because
Why not just do that?
because they don't have that Megazord anymore.
Oh, okay, alright.
That almost
Fine,
makes sense.
fine, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, but replacing it with a fire hose doesn't work for two reasons. One is a problem of volume, because a fire hose doesn't shoot enough of anything to cover a giant monster.
A giant.
Like, it's a regular-sized fire hose that he uses. The second problem is that a fire hose shoots water, not ice.
Not CO2,
That's
which we
right.
clearly saw.
It's not a fire extinguisher. Like, what is going on?
So Tommy gets thrown out of its belly now that it's frozen.
As a green energy
At
ball.
which point he says to Billy, "This mega heater of yours worked perfectly. Fuck you, and fuck you, Stewart St. John."
Yeah, I would prefer it if they just didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
Also, any relation, do you think?
No,
Stuart
because Austin
Austin?
St. John's name isn't Austin St.
Oh,
John.
of course. Yeah, fine.
No, if he was related and it was nepotism, that would be acceptable.
Yeah.
And
That would explain
he's
a lot.
been hired on merit. So the Zords are back online because Tommy's energy extends to them now.
Yeah.
So they just
Who cares?
they pull the sword out, they cut the
They
fucking
do the
in half.
sword thing, job done. It's fine.
That was Tommy's. The last big thing Tommy does is
Pretend to be a watermelon. Just call it like it is. Like,
so we're back at the youth centre.
And just in case you thought everything anger-reducing and ridiculous in these episodes had happened, we get the final moments.
So Trini says, "Oh, the Dark Rangers," Zordon says, they've been returned home with no memory of what happened.
Yeah.
did he say that?
Yeah, they've got amnesia.
I didn't catch that line.
Which is good, because otherwise they'd know that the Power Rangers were the Power Rangers.
They'd remember to be assholes, which they clearly forget in this scene.
That's what really pisses me off about
Let's
this
get
scene.
to that in one sec. So, Jason basically says, maybe what they need is friends. Which, no, they seem pretty much like assholes.
Well, that's the problem with this scene, right? Is that they go from basically gang members, and not gang as in they're hanging out together, like basically criminals.
Like they have leather biker gloves on.
They're talking about basically creating a criminal network within the city.
Yes.
Essentially. They go from that to, oh, I'm just misunderstood.
Yeah.
No. You are very badly physically intimidating and harassing people
But
a second ago.
it's not even I'm just misunderstood. It's like there's no we were acting like this because
We were new and we like...
yeah, and we were
We're
nervous
throwing our
and-
weight around a little, but...
There's none of that. It's just like, yeah, why not be friends? I don't know. You had no interest in being friends a second ago.
So, Richie is working at the counter, which is actually, I thought was really nice.
That is a cool
It's
character
like,
touch.
I like that they're now... It really does make him a good red herring for the White Ranger powers.
Yeah.
Because he feels...
Because he showed up more than once.
He feels integrated in this universe.
Yeah.
Like, he feels like a dude who's hanging around and...
And in a universe where no one shows up for non-story
Yeah,
reasons.
Angela is our only recurring character.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a hint, we're never seeing her again.
Yeah, and she's specifically there for a plot reason
Yes.
that even a kid can figure out. Richie isn't, which makes him stick out.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a side character
Yeah.
in a show that has like 3 side characters.
Yeah.
So they go over to them, and Jason buys $4.50 worth of milkshakes, which is very cheap for milkshakes. These days,
inflation, though.
You'd be lucky to get a milkshake today for $4.50.
Yeah, but
and they get 5.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I could buy it.
Literally
Sure.
20 years
Maybe
ago.
it's subsidised because the school wants to provide calcium to the students.
Sure, they got fruit in them
Maybe
as well.
Ernie's just a nice guy at low prices.
That does explain why he's going out of business.
actually.
Milkshakes are $4.50 and they cost him $6 to make. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 5 milkshakes are $4.50.
So yeah, Jason covers a $5 tab, and that's it. That's all they needed.
They shake hands. They all shake hands with their counterparts.
Imagine if
we're
that was
friends.
how like you could solve the problems in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Just buy milkshakes for the other dude, and like
Wait for them to buy milkshakes.
Yeah.
And then step in and be like,
America just goes on
it's
and goes,
fine.
"No,
I
we
got
this."
these milkshakes. It's fine. And they're like, I guess you weren't so bad after all.
Yeah, guess we're all the same. We all appreciate milkshakes.
Who doesn't, right?
I don't. The 180 here.
It's just, again, it's the first episode and the second episode being completely unwritten together. Like, they're clearly not going to stick around.
No.
Those, like, they could have been semi-recurring characters for the next couple of episodes.
Yeah, they could have.
They could have been bullies to, like, further Bulk and Skull's transition towards
To
harmless
out of
and, like,
bullies.
because now that there's bigger fish, they're like, let's just be nice.
Yeah.
If you want to do the redeeming narrative, like, oh, people can just be misunderstood, and if you treat people who are hostile with kindness, it can pay off, that's fine. But you need to set that up that way from the
They
start.
can't be as big dicks as they were the first time.
Yeah, they can't
be so bad that a skinless spaceman decides that they will be evil Power Rangers, okay?
And don't forget...
That is a black mark next to your name, frankly, isn't it?
And it's not like they were just misunderstood within that context. Lord Zed takes them away, but of their own volition, they agree to work for essentially Satan. Of their own accord.
Space devils.
They're not mind-controlled at all. Like, they are asked, and they say, yes, we would like to work for you, Space Satan. But a milkshake, it's all good. They're good people now.
I mean, they're clearly just very opportunistic.
Yeah.
Like, listen, it's a gig. I'm not going to turn it down. Work's thin on the ground. This economy.
It's tough being a punk in 1993.
Right? It's waning.
Punk's been out for like 8 years, right? Frankly, we could move on.
We're not that new anymore. You know what is new? Skinless Space Devil.
So, in the command center, Tommy...
Has his moment.
Yeah, look, it was what's inside him that counts.
Yeah.
We're never going to see him again.
Yeah, that's right. He's gone forever.
Yep.
Tommy. That's why it lasted.
Put their hands in the center.
He's going on school break, apparently. Except the others aren't. I don't understand what's going on.
Wait, aren't they...
He's talking like, oh, I'm not going to see you guys because I'm going on school break. But it's kind of like, everyone goes on school break.
Yeah, what I understood was everyone goes on school break, but you all have to be Power Rangers during that time. But you'd still think, like, they had time to go to school and be Power Rangers, so they could probably have time to be Power Rangers and occasionally hang out with their friends.
Have lunch with them.
Even if, while they're outside school, all their time is taking up with Power Rangering.
Yeah.
And we're pretty sure it isn't.
Yeah.
There's like 8 hours a day where almost always they're going to be in a classroom with him.
Yeah, but he's on school break.
This is the school break thing. But surely they're on school break as well.
No,
He's on school break.
Except the show keeps going and they don't stop going to school. So, what's his name? Stewart St.
Yep.
Listen, I don't want to throw stones.
Look,
but if a stone fell on you from a different place, you deserve it. A small one.
There's certainly, it's possible
one.
it's not entirely his fault.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is.
There's certain things that might have been mandated.
There's a lot of cogs in a production, and it's hardly ever just one person's fault. That's true.
But it's certainly partially yours.
Oh, 100%. You don't get the writing credit without having been involved. So, like...
What blows my mind about this is possibly the most egregious episode of Power Rangers.
Yep.
And I think
possibly the most important.
Yeah. But also possibly, and I'm not sure about this one, you might have to help me out here, Michael, the first one without Bulk and Skull.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that mind-blowing? That the worse the show has gotten, they've
There's
gotten
been an
there
episode without Bulk and Skull. Holy, whoa.
Like...
There's a sentence you thought you'd never say.
Never say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, no Bulk and Skull.
None whatsoever.
Not even in the background.
No,
Nope.
not even at the end.
Nope.
In the diner. Testament to what a piece of shit this episode was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, that's wrinkled my brain.
He hasn't adjusted. I was waiting to drop that one till the end.
I can't. Okay, let's talk about the Green Ranger and the White Ranger a little bit.
Okay, how so?
So, at this point, Jason David Frank is gone from the show for a while. The original plan was that they would introduce the White Ranger, and he would be played by a guy named Brad Hawkins. Brad Hawkins is now famous for starring in a show called VR Troopers.
Famous. Sorry, Michael, what did you say?
Famous in these circles.
Okay.
Not like known.
Yeah.
Basically, the original plan was, because Jason David Frank was so popular, he would go and have his own show where he could be the star all the time, and we'd keep Power Rangers going and have two shows,
Yep.
and leverage his popularity into
a second show, which
and
is
have
double
two
profit.
money makers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough plan.
Yeah, so they made a pilot of that. And then, as far as we could tell from the timelines, roughly, it was at the point where Tommy left the first time. And kids lost their shit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think it's impossible to explain how popular the Green Ranger was. Like,
But literally millions of children adored him.
parents wrote letters to the show saying, you have to bring him back. My kid is so upset that, like, he's not coping.
He's not eating.
Right?
He's probably
Like,
going to die.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Right? So they thought, well, okay.
We can't do
We
this.
could bring him back in his own show, but it's not the same for the kids.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, what happened is they made the offer to him and Brad Hawkins. And they said, look, what we can do is... The plan was Jason David Frank gets his own show, you come in as the White Ranger. What we're thinking is, everyone wants Jason David Frank back. You can have VR Troopers.
Yeah, you have his
because
show.
we promised you that you would get to be a Power Ranger, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So you can have your own show, and, like, good luck, and we'll bring him back. Or you can be the White Ranger, and we'll see if kids are upset, and that might all be on you. And Jason David Frank can have his own show.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, they basically all came to the decision that
This here is
it
the
makes
sensible
more
thing
sense
do.
to have Jason David Frank on Power Rangers where everyone knows him, and try the other shows separately.
yeah.
VR Troopers lasted like 3 seasons.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't like...
That blows my mind.
It wasn't a nothing show.
Yeah.
It certainly isn't still going.
Yeah.
But they did far better out of it than you would probably expect.
Because that's something I wanted to ask you about. Because now is as good as time to talk about it as any.
Sure.
Saban did ultimately 4 shows in that same vein.
Yep.
We got Power Rangers, we
Yep.
got VR Troopers, as you just mentioned. We got Masked Rider.
Yep, which is introduced in a crossover.
That's right. And we got Beetleborgs.
Yes.
As well. Now, it's
There was
cur-
also one called The Mystic Knights of Tir Na Nog,
What?
which I was like Irish mythology themed.
Right.
And I believe didn't use a Japanese show as its base.
Wow.
So it was like working purely from their own
yeah.
footage,
Yeah.
but using the same kind of hectic production schedule and not paying anyone to make it, and like the Saban machine.
Yeah. Okay, right. Well, so we had, leaving that one aside for a second,
Yeah.
4 shows that had a very similar concept.
Yeah.
Only Power Rangers lasted 22 years. Beetleborgs got 2 seasons, I think. I'm not sure Master Rider made it out of its first season.
Yep.
I could be wrong about that. What do you think is the difference?
I think part of it is that Power Rangers was the first
I was
one.
going to say, yeah.
Sure.
At the point at which they were introducing all those other shows,
Yeah.
Power Rangers was a juggernaut. It was
Yeah.
unstoppable. Kids didn't like, another Power Rangers. Sure, great. I didn't mind some Beetleborgs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That was an alright show. I don't think we ever got Master Rider here.
We did.
But there's
Yeah.
not even enough of it that they...
No.
And I don't remember VR Troopers at all.
Neither do I. That's one I think we may not have gotten in Australia, because I have never seen it.
We should tackle the first episode of all of these at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's put that on the list.
Yeah, I think
But,
then we'll probably be able to have a better idea of where they didn't succeed.
Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that when you're trying to tell a story or trying to tell a joke or something, the ideal form of it is the simplest form. And all those shows are Power Rangers but Beetle themed, or Power Rangers but blank. And it's like Power Rangers are...
Sorry, do you know about Beetleborgs?
No.
So
I mean, vaguely. But...
Beetleborgs were 3 kids
Yeah.
who, like, read a comic about Beetleborgs.
Sure.
Like, the Beetleborgs were comic book
Yeah,
superheroes.
yeah.
And then they went to a haunted mansion and met Jay Leno, genie?
Yeah.
Like a Jay
Or a
Leno
ghost.
Elvis genie ghost who gave them a wish, and they wished to be the Beetleborgs.
That is such a good fucking wish.
But-
No, I'm going to stop you.
But that wish also brought the Beetleborgs bad guys to Earth.
But I'm so done with kids getting wishes and picking shit wishes. I want to be a superhero and I want a TV show. Let's rock it. That's a good wish.
And then, in that mansion lived, a mummy and a werewolf and, comedy versions of the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
It was just, it's
insane.
It's 3 different concepts
Yeah.
rammed into each other.
Yeah. Beetleborgs is pretty great.
Oh, yeah.
But I think with stuff like Masked Rider, I don't think you can overstate the importance of the Zords.
Yeah.
The giant robots are such a huge deal, and Masked Rider just didn't have that. And as cool as Kamen Rider, which is what they adapted in Japan, is, it's not that. And if you try and make Kamen Rider like Power Rangers, you're going to fail, because they are different. They're similar, but they're not the same. They have different things going for them. It's not a team show.
Yeah.
It's not a giant robot show. And I think they're trying to execute it in that mold.
I certainly think Cool Dude on Motorcycle is a show that they could make succeed.
Yeah.
But, the team dynamic it works better because everyone can have a favourite.
Yeah.
It's just, somehow.
And I think when you go to school and you play in the playground, you play Power Rangers,
if
everyone
one
gets to
kid
be...
gets to be the Masked Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just...
Yeah, that's interesting. And, it's amazing to think about how there were Sentai teams that didn't have Zords or giant robots.
For a long time,
Yeah,
really.
and it wasn't until Japanese Spider-Man that actually became a part of that whole deal.
With Leopardon.
Yeah. We should watch Japanese
We
Spider-Man.
absolutely have to watch Japanese. He's just shown up in an American Spider-Man comic for the first
Yes.
time ever. As part of their Every Spider-Man Ever crossover.
Do you know about Japanese Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Tim? Okay, that's good.
Can we...
Right.
Let's tell people just very briefly.
Okay.
Japanese Spider-Man is...
Well, so just for the origins of it, the Japanese got the license for Spider-Man to produce a Spider-Man TV show in Japan.
Yep.
But they took some liberties with the concept.
I mean, look, the fact that we've told you he has a giant robot
Yeah.
must be giving you some idea.
So it's not Peter Parker.
No.
It's some Japanese dude. He's not a photographer. He's a dirt bike stunt rider. And
Wait, hang on. Stop. Who is Peter Parker, and isn't Spider-Man hasn't he always been a dirt bike stunt rider?
no, that's not how Spider-Man goes.
You're confusing him with Dirt Bike Stunt Rider Man.
Hang on. I see what I've done there. It's my mistake.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
He doesn't get his powers from a radioactive spider. He gets it from a god from a spider planet. Is that right?
I buy that, though. Like...
He doesn't fight the Green Goblin. He fights space invaders. And he doesn't have web shooters. He has a
His
giant...
father
He has guns,
is a
doesn't he?
space archaeologist, which is just...
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and he has a spaceship that can transform into a giant battle robot called Leopardon.
Yeah.
Which is, I have to emphasize, the first instance of this concept in Japanese TV.
It's
Leopardon is the first
Giant
Megazord.
robot.
And it's bizarre to think that this came from a Spider-Man.
From
adaptation.
Spider-Man.
It went from Spider-Man to Japan to Sentai back to Power Rangers. That's how that trail gets traced.
And is Leopardon like a leopard, or is that just...
Oh,
a
no.
Okay, cool. No, that's fine, because that's a language thing. It's not...
So here's the other thing, right? After that, it was very successful. And after that, they started developing one about Captain America. Except he was going to be Captain Japan.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
That eventually became a show called Battle Fever J.
Yeah.
which is it has Battle France, Battle Cossack, which is Soviet Union,
Yep.
Battle Japan, Miss America, and Battle Kenya.
Yep.
Because that's a sensible group of 5 countries.
Obviously.
Those are the 5 countries you want fighting for you.
Yeah. And that's the 3rd ever season of Super Sentai.
Yeah. So it ended up not being adapted to Captain America. They decided to turn it into a Sentai.
Basically, they started working, and it eventually became this other show.
Yeah.
But just...
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's the idea that Power Rangers as we know it would not exist without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You can almost get that going like, yeah, teenagers, great power, great responsibility.
But that's not it.
how it happened.
Yeah.
No, what happened is they adapted into a man who gets alien powers and has an alien spaceship that could transform into a giant robot. And then 20 years later... that became a show about young teenagers who have powers of dinosaurs.
Yes.
And then a year after that, that became a show about white people with dinosaur powers. It's just...
It's mind-bending, it really is.
It's a shame there was no period that Disney owned Marvel and Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Because if Spider-Man had shown up in an episode of Power Rangers, that would have made the most money of all time.
It would have been pretty rad.
Can you imagine if Spider-Man can't cross over with the Avengers,
Yeah.
but he could cross over with the new Power Rangers film?
Yeah.
So the new Power Rangers film is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Andrew Garfield in a giant robot.
Yeah. Definitely not Spider-Man.
Look, I would pay a lot
Oh
of
god,
money.
no, don't get me started. I would book a whole theatre and just be allowed to watch it on my own.
Yeah, on loop for a day. Yeah.
Okay, I think very quickly we have to rank some monsters.
Yeah, we've got 3 to rank, by my reckoning.
So, my
gonna be hard,
laptop
though,
is
is
about to die, so let's hurry.
Yep.
Turban Shell.
Low.
Low? Bottom half?
Bottom third, I would say.
Okay.
So this is the Ranger Danger creature feature. For those following along at home,
Yep.
we're going to rank these monsters.
Below Dramole.
Yes.
Okay, below the Lizinator.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Lizinator
yes.
was better.
Below Stag Beetle.
No, I think he did okay. Look, he's pretty effective as a monster.
Okay,
So,
Bloom of Doom is just above Stag Beetle.
yeah, let's put him there.
Okay. The Dark Rangers.
Bottom of the fucking list.
Below Mr. Tickle Sneezer.
Below Mr.
Yeah,
Tickle
because
Sneezer.
Mr. Tickle Sneezer did anything.
He didn't even need to, and he achieved
Yeah, he
so much
achieved
more.
more.
Yeah. Absolute zero. New baseline. Can't get
Okay,
worse.
so
Yeah,
that would
because-
be number 66,
Yeah.
but I'm going to put them at number 100.
Okay.
I think... yeah.
Because they did nothing.
Now, Goldar.
Yeah.
Time to drop that motherfucker
Yeah,
down.
he's currently at 48.
Yeah.
He did get the shit kicked out of him.
By a dude. Just by a dude. Can we put him just below just above the Dark Rangers?
At like 99.
Yep.
Okay.
That's where he goes. Goldar, you own that.
So it's Mr. Tickle Sneezer at 65.
Yep.
Then 34 blank spots.
That's right.
Is how little we think of Goldar and the Dark Rangers.
The concept of nothing is more threatening than the Dark Rangers.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty existential there. Like,
It is, yeah.
I can only hope that we've seen some good shit in Dino Charge.
Oh,
Because...
we need something to pick up our spirits.
Yeah. All right.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much for enduring this with us, listeners.
So next week is called Missing Green.
Yeah.
I won't particularly be missing Green, I don't think.
No,
but
I don't think anyone will, but that's fine.
apparently the show will be.
Yeah.
We're going to have a new guest who you've never met before.
That's exciting.
That's exciting.
Yep.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, see you guys. Thank you so much for listening through all this.
Thank you, Tim.
yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.